METS Ignited is the industry growth centre for mining equipment, technology and services. Australia's METS sector is a recognised world leader in innovation and technology, delivering the safety, environmental and productivity outcomes that sustain our global resources sector. The success of Australia's METS companies has created more highly skilled jobs and expanded the local economic contribution of Australia's leading technology sector.
Hello everyone, my name is George Hackford and I look after the energy and resources work that SparkBeyond does, and welcome to my talk on AI in the mining sector. Now, the aim of this presentation is to give you all a good understanding of how some of the world's biggest mining companies are using AI to increase profitability, to improve asset efficiency and productivity, to reduce accidents, and to improve trading margins amongst many other use cases and areas of adoption. And if you leave this presentation with a better idea of how to successfully adopt AI and technology across a mining company, and to see where some of the initial easy wins are, then this represents success for me. Now, first and foremost, what is AI in this case? So AI is a very overused term. And in this case, I'm going to use it to refer to a suite of technologies that can take a decision without much human input and uncover new patterns in data that human teams would never have considered before. So first and foremost, before I go into the parts around mining and AI, it would be worth introducing SparkBeyond and giving a sense as to what we actually do. I'm going to quickly show a presentation. So SparkBeyond is essentially a tech company that was founded in 2013 with 6 major offices worldwide. And SparkBeyond has automated the hardest part of what a data scientist does, which is feature engineering. So coming up with hypotheses around particular business problems, a data scientist will throw ideas and test them against the business problem to see which ones add value and information. So we have automated this process, and we were founded to solve the problem of human ideation. So when humans think up ideas around business problems, it can be very slow and very biased. So SparkBeyond exists to remove this bias and improve speed of ideation. So how do we do this? There are 3 main pillars of what we do that allow us to essentially solve the problem of human ideation. The first big thing that we do is we have automated driver or insight discovery. By indexing the entire internet for open source code, SparkBeyond can throw 4 million hypotheses at a business problem a minute, uncovering the exact drivers, the exact reasons behind an event occurring. This avoids human bias and can uncover new insights behind a business problem in minutes. So at great speed and with zero bias, you can find out the exact reasons for an event occurring that may impact your business. So that's the first thing that we do, is we've automated driver discovery. The second thing that we do is we're able to bring in multiple external data sets. So for a mining company, let's say you're looking at your suite of mining production assets, you need to understand not just the internal data from your assets and their productivity, but how the external world, the outside world, impacts your assets as well. So SparkBeyond makes it very easy to bring in multiple data sets like weather, OpenStreetMaps, holiday data, and demographic data to see how the external world impacts your business problem. So that's the second big thing that we do, is we can bring in multiple external data sets to add new value. And the third big thing that we do is essentially create dynamic models from these new insights. So we essentially create these models that don't erode in accuracy forevermore, so you can permanently solve whichever business problem you've asked the platform to solve. So these are the big 3 things that we do as a company. And how did we get to where we are? We essentially came to fame through a partnership with McKinsey. And we are their frontline AI platform, and also with McKinsey, we carried out our first work in the mining sector 6 years ago. And as we've grown more independent, we have a big partnership with Microsoft as well. So we're one of Microsoft's top AI partners globally. And in a brief nutshell, SparkBeyond, and I suppose most AI companies, essentially want to find the reasons for an event occurring, or the reasons for drivers for X occurring. And X in this case can be asset breakage, safety incidents increasing, volatile commodity prices, difficulties in exploration, etc. So, how does an AI company work with a large mining company? So, firstly, to see true success, there needs to be a digital transformation initiative across a mining company, usually driven by the CIO. And this ensures all new technologies are playing nicely with each other and that results from POCs can be quickly tested and assessed. And once this digital framework is in place, a mining company can use AI vendors like SparkBeyond to drive rapid impact across certain areas. So 4 areas that SparkBeyond has worked on recently across the mining space show the impact that AI can have in a very short space of time. And the first area I'd like to focus on is fuel usage reduction. So this is typically a win-win for mining companies, as you can reduce fuel consumption across a fleet of trucks. You can improve safety for the drivers of these trucks, unless they're autonomous, and you can also reduce CO2 emissions. So lots of very good benefits for a limited amount of work in this case. So I would call this an easy win use case. In this exact example on the screen, SparkBeyond was brought in to understand drivers behind fuel usage increases across a fleet of trucks for an Asia Pacific mining company. So we assessed the patterns behind truck driver behavior with data fed from each truck, so essentially truck usage data. We combined that with a lot of external data, like weather data, holiday data, and other external data sets. And essentially it allowed us to uncover a list of insights behind increased fuel usage for each truck. So essentially, what were the series of events that had to occur to lead to increased fuel usage across the fleet? So once we uncovered these new drivers behind fuel usage increases, we created a dashboard for the company to communicate new KPIs to truck drivers to reduce fuel usage based on these new insights. And this particular use case was a very big success, and fuel consumption dropped 10% in under 3 months, which is very big impact. The second area to focus on is assets. So for this particular company, large mining assets are put under a lot of pressure and can frequently break or reduce output or produce waste such as dust, often for very unknown reasons. And of course, this is very painful to a mining company's bottom line. So SparkBeyond is able to look at multiple data sets from an asset. And in this case, this asset was an alumina refinery. So we brought in the internal data for this asset, so telemetry data, sensor data in particular, combined this with weather data and water usage data to uncover the exact drivers behind asset breakage, asset production decreases, and waste such as dust production increases. And we wanted to predict the likelihood of this event occurring in future before it happens. So the model that was built after this particular use case increased productivity output quite considerably, decreased energy input, and reduced pollutant waste, and essentially resulted in $1.8 million of savings per year per asset. The third and more diverse area that we look at is exploration. So a mining or resources company wants to spend as little time as possible exploring for new mine sites and want to ensure next sites are chosen as accurately as possible. So SparkBeyond can look at relationships across mineralogy datasets to search for new and novel physical relationships between minerals and predict a rock's properties from mineralogy data. This dramatically improves accuracy and productivity of exploration teams and also increases the likelihood that a mining company's next find will be high value. The last and also more diverse use case to look at is health and safety. So large mining companies tend to want everyone to go home safely at the end of the day. This particular Australian mining company wanted to use SparkBeyond to uncover root causes for safety incidents and identify measures to reduce risk for employees. So SparkBeyond was brought in to connect all relevant internal data sets, including messily typed and unstructured injury reports, and uncover risk contributors missed by classic safety reports. And by linking patterns between external weather data, time of day and holiday data, and the content and time of entry of safety incident logs, we uncovered new drivers of safety incidents never discovered before by the client, and found out that 10% of employees in this company were associated with over 60% of injuries, and built a dynamic model to identify most at-risk employees before a shift starts and take the necessary steps to reduce injury before it happens in future. So as you can see, AI, when used properly, can be used across a very wide range of use cases in the mining space to very high value. And I hope this presentation gave you a sense of what AI can do across a mining company's operations. Thank you.
METS Ignited is the industry growth centre for mining equipment, technology and services. Australia's METS sector is a recognised world leader in innovation and technology, delivering the safety, environmental and productivity outcomes that sustain our global resources sector. The success of Australia's METS companies has created more highly skilled jobs and expanded the local economic contribution of Australia's leading technology sector.